Always think big. In a small town surrounded by green fields and whispering winds lived a boy named Basit. He was just 15, a quiet student who often sat by the classroom window, lost in thoughts much bigger than his tiny world. His classmates laughed and played, but Basit's mind was always full of questions. Why do some people achieve so much in life while others stay the same? He often wondered. Basit lived with his mother, who worked hard at a local tailor shop. His father had passed away when he was young, leaving them with little but a few dreams and a lot of determination. Though they struggled with money, his mother always told him one thing: Basit, never think small. The world becomes as big as you're thinking. Those words became Basit's heartbeat. Every morning, he would walk 3 miles to school with an old backpack and worn-out shoes. But inside that bag was something more valuable than gold. His big dreams? He wanted to invent something that could change people's lives. Maybe a machine that could make farming easier, or something that could help his mother sew faster. Still, life was not easy for dreamers. His classmates often teased him. Basit, stop talking about inventions, said Ali, one of his friends. You can't even afford new shoes. How will you build machines? Basit smiled shyly. One day you'll see, he said softly. Thinking big doesn't cost money. One evening, Basit sat on the roof of his small home, looking at the stars. The wind was cool, and his mother was sewing under a dim lamp. He watched her struggle with her old sewing machine, the needle breaking again and again. Suddenly, an idea flashed in his mind like lightning. What if I make a small motor that can move the needle automatically and fix its speed? He whispered. He ran downstairs, his eyes glowing. Amy, I think I can make your machine faster. His mother smiled tiredly. Basit, you and your big ideas again? But Basit wasn't joking this time. He spent the next few days collecting broken wires, magnets, and small batteries from a junk shop. He asked his science teacher, Mr. Rahman, if he could use the school's lab after hours. At first, the teacher refused. Basit, the lab is for experiments, not for your dreams, he said strictly. But when he saw Basit's determination, he changed his mind. Fine, you can use it after school, but don't expect miracles. Basit grinned. Sir, sometimes miracles start small. For weeks, Basit worked alone in the lab. He failed many times. Wires burned, circuits didn't connect, and batteries exploded. But each failure taught him something new. One day, after endless tries, the small motor finally started spinning. It was weak, but it moved the needle of an old sewing machine perfectly. He ran home excitedly. Amy, look, I did it! His mother watched in disbelief as the needle moved automatically, sewing straight and fast. Tears filled her eyes. My son, she whispered, you really thought big. And you did it. Basit didn't stop there. He started improving his invention. He used scraps of metal, wood, and plastic to make a new version, smaller, stronger, and cheaper. Soon, people from his neighborhood began visiting his house. Basit Beta, can you fix my sewing machine too? One woman asked. He helped everyone with kindness, charging only a little money. Slowly, word spread about the boy inventor from the small town. One day, a local journalist visited his school to write an article about talented students. When he heard about Basit's invention, he was amazed. This is wonderful, the journalist said. You've made something useful from almost nothing. He wrote an article titled, The Boy Who Thinks Big. Within days, people across the city started talking about Basit. A local college invited him to show his invention at a science exhibition. Basit was nervous. He had never spoken in front of so many people. But his mother held his hand and said, Remember, Basit, always think big, even when you feel small. Those words gave him courage. At the exhibition, his simple invention stood between big machines and fancy robots made by college students. People laughed quietly at first. What can this small-town boy show us? But when Basit explained how his small motor could make sewing faster for poor women, everyone went silent. The judges were deeply impressed. You didn't just build a machine, one of them said. You built hope. Basit won first prize, along with a scholarship to study engineering in the city. Years passed. Basit studied hard, often remembering his small room, his mother's smile, and her words echoing in his mind. During college, he developed many new inventions: solar fans for small homes, water filters for villages, and improved versions of his sewing machine motor. He was later invited to an international technology fair, where people from around the world admired his work. A famous investor asked him, Basit, what's your secret? You come from such a small town, yet your ideas are so big. Basit smiled and replied, because my mother taught me that the size of your dreams decides the size of your success. Soon, Basit started his own company called Big Dream Solutions. His first project was producing affordable sewing machine motors for poor women across Pakistan. He hired many workers from his village, including the same people who once doubted him. One day, Ali, his old friend who used to tease him, came to visit. Basit, I'm sorry for laughing at you, he said. You really did what you said. Basit laughed kindly. Don't be sorry, Ali, you just didn't see what I was seeing. A few years later, Basit returned to his hometown to open a small technology learning center for children. He wanted to give other kids the same chance he never had. Standing on the stage, he looked at the crowd, dozens of students, teachers, and his proud mother sitting in the front row. My dear friends, he said, don't let your dreams stay small because your surroundings are small. I started in a tiny room, but my dreams had no walls. Remember, it doesn't matter where you come from. What matters is how big you can think. The audience clapped loudly, some with tears in their eyes. That night, Basit sat again under the same sky, watching the stars sparkle above. He smiled and whispered, I thought big and the world became big too. Moral of the story, never limit your dreams because of your situation. The bigger you think, the farther you go. Success doesn't start with money or power. It starts with belief, courage, and a dream that refuses to stay small.